Alrighty, folks. Late breaking news. Even though as many hundreds of years ago, somehow this main event called the Crusades is still in the news. So we have Chet Tedford on the scene. If you'd like to listen to what he has to say, he's going to walk you through on what you're going to be doing today. Let's go ahead and get over to what needs to happen. Alrighty. Yes, a little bit of technical glitches here. We're new here at the news station. You might even hear lawnmowers in the background. Alrighty, folks. The Crusades. Really, this is Chet Tedford. Oh, yeah, that's me. I'm not the same guy. Don't worry about that. The Crusades. Was it a battle for power or religion? We're going to have you decide. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty, folks. The Crusades were a series of war, if you did not know, during the Middle Ages, where Christians of Europe tried to retake control of Jerusalem, the Holy Land, pictured here, from the Muslims. Now remember, the Islamic Empire was going strong after Rome had fallen, and there was the Byzantine Empire here, the Islamic Empire here, and these fractured kingdoms that were trying to develop under feudalism and Christianity here. Now, Jerusalem was important to a number of religions during the Middle Ages. It was important to Jewish people, as it was the site of the original temple to God built by King Solomon. It was important to the Muslims because it was where they believed Muhammad ascended to heaven. It was important to the Christians as it was where Christ lived and preached, and according to the Bible's New Testament, was resurrected 3 days after being crucified. Easy for them to say. The Crusades were between the armies of Europe, mostly the Holy Roman Empire, and the Arabs that had control of Jerusalem. Now, in the First Crusade, Europe battled the Seljuk Turks, a relatively new Muslim group that wanted to impress their god Allah. However, they didn't impress their political leader because they really rocked the boat and created a lot of havoc for everybody involved for the next 200 years. Now, there were around 30,000 soldiers from Europe in the First Crusade. They were made up of knights, peasants, and even commoners. Some saw the army as a way to get rich and try out their fighting skills like the knights. Some people saw it to get out of feudalism, while others saw it as a way to get into heaven. I would say most of them trying to do that. Now, the initial crusade began when the Seljuk Turks took control of the Holy Land, and they barely won in the first round. There were many to come, though. Prior to this, the Arabs had been in control of all of this land. However, the Arabs had allowed Christians to pilgrimage and visit the city of Jerusalem. Now, in 1070, when the Turks took control, they began to refuse Christian pilgrims into the area. The Byzantine Emperor Alexius I called for help from the Pope with defending his empire from these Turk folks that were really making chaos in this region, and to help them push them out of the Holy Land. At this time, the Byzantine Empire is the eastern half of the Roman Empire. This was the east, this is the west side. Remember, it split many hundreds of years ago, and it survived Rome's fall. Now, Pope Urban II responded by calling a meeting at the Council of Clermont, where they proclaimed a crusade would take place both to save the Byzantine Empire cousins to the east and also to restore safe travel to Jerusalem for traveling Christian pilgrims. Now, the Pope helped gather the army, primarily with the help of the Franks in this area and the Holy Roman Empire in Northern Europe. One way he did this was by stating that anyone who went and fought was guaranteed admission into heaven. Now I understand why people fought for 200 years. This is the big news, folks. Serfs, knights, and lords all wanted to follow the Pope's commands. Let's see all of the action that went down.